Thank you, everyone. Ask. What do we call you? Stand-in director?
Yeah, that's
Superintendent of HR, Charlotte Patterson, to proceed with roll call.
Trustee Buckland? Trustee Buckland? Trustee Karkner?
Present.
Trustee Garrell sends his regrets. Trustee McPherson sends his regrets. Trustee McAllister?
Present.
Second Vice Chair McDonald?
Present.
First Vice Chair McMillan?
Present.
Trustee McCray?
Present.
Chair Petersma?
Present.
Trustee Richards? Trustee Richards? Trustee Swan?
Present.
Student Trustee Jacob Howe?
Present.
All right, thank you. One item will be omitted from tonight's agenda, and that's B1, ratification of SEAC appointment. I have a motion to approve the agenda. Trustee McCray, Trustee McMillan. All in favor? Opposed, that carries. So there's no trustees online, correct? Just, okay, so 7. That's good, that's quorum. Did I do an all in favor? Okay.
Would you like to ask the question?
Thank you, Second Vice McDonald. Any declarations of conflict of interest? Seeing none, I'll move on to report from Committee of the Whole private session. One personnel matter was discussed during the January 11th meeting and no recommendation has been brought forward. Approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting December 21st. Any errors or omissions? Moved by Trustee Karkner, seconded by Trustee McAllister. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. So notice of motion. Just draw to your attention amendment to the board bylaws. We will discuss that. Right now it's scheduled for the board, but we could discuss it at Committee of the Whole too. I might do that because there's quite a few changes. Okay. All right, report from Committee of the Whole public session. There are a number of routine policy matters that were dealt with and need to be approved. I have a motioner for the policy 222 and 225. Trustee McCray, seconded by Trustee McAllister. At the Upper Canada District School Board, approve revisions to policy 222, respectful working and learning environment, and policy 225, workplace harassment. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Policy to approve 421, moved by Trustee Swan, seconded by Trustee Karkner, that the Upper Canada District School Board approve policy 421, violence in the workplace as part of Occupational Health and Safety Act annual policy review requirements. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Next motion, policy 424, moved by Trustee McDonald, seconded by Trustee McMillan. Let the Upper Canada District School Board approve policy 424, occupational health and safety as part of the Occupational Health and Safety Act annual policy review requirements. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Last is a new motion, or not a policy motion, I guess. Indicating that the board will transfer all the student transportation activities to the STO consortium. This is moved by Trustee McDonald, seconded by Trustee Swan. Any comments or questions? This is effective next week, next Wednesday. Trustee Karkner?
I wasn't here for the discussion, and perhaps I'm out of line right now, but I was wondering about the message that has come through about the hiring mass hiring of larger, has that been discussed at this once again?
Are you referring to the going to RFPs and that?
Yeah.
Yes, that we had that question last time. It was raised at the committee of the whole meeting, and essentially the governance committee of the Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario Consortium are aware of this problem. Our discussions with the ministry indicate that we can set up the RFP process to ensure that we do not negatively impact our smaller operators, and that certainly is the direction that we've given the administration of the STO, that to set up the RFPs in a way that's compliant with the legislation but goes about protecting the smaller operators. Do you have anything else to add to that? Did I get that right? Okay. Thank you. So all in favor? Opposed? That carries. So that brings to an end the report from Committee of the Whole. Any comments or questions on any of the other items? Okay, report from Special Education Advisory Committee, Trustee McCray.
So the SEAC Committee, Special Education Advisory Committee, has a new chair, and that is Amy Booth, who is a member at large, has been elected as the chair of the Special Education Advisory Committee for 2012 calendar year. And Trustee Susan Richards was re-elected as the vice chair. Approval of the minutes, they were approved with the two following amendments, and they included the recommendation that was brought forward by Corey Earle, a member at large, to conduct a survey involving students who fall under the school-based student support team. And Trustee Susan Richards also had made a recommendation that the Upper Canada School Board, as well as the brochure that is in the making for the school-based student support team, that there be a brochure similar but tailored to the parent audience regarding the student support team. Victoria Hemming, our Superintendent of School Effectiveness, presented the 2010-11 EQAO assessment for levels 3 and 4, which included students with exceptionalities. And in accordance with the provincial standard scores, we are doing relatively well. It appears that the use and time spent on technology with our exceptional students is paying off. By infusing this technology into the daily programs and using it on a day-to-day basis, we're beginning to raise the bar and see the results. Melinda Long, Parents for Children's Mental Health, suggested that students, when they are involved in the special education programs, might need a little more guidance when preparing for testing, especially if there's a change in administration. That was one of her recommendations. I gave the trustee report, of which I have sent everyone a copy of both reports, and the SEAC committee members will be given a copy of the Upper Canada School Board's Kids with Character, a celebration book. And Trustee McAllister's report was circulated on the annual Ontario Children's Mental Health Conference in November. And Trustee McAllister spoke to the report as well as spoke to the Upper Canada School Board Mental Health Group. Susan Edwards, Superintendent of School Effectiveness, gave a report on the October 2011 Section J Elementary and Secondary report, and that was distributed. And there was talk, or Susan also gave a presentation on the Kinsman Vincent Massey School transition, and talked about some of the recommendations that this transition committee has come forward with. And I have circulated a copy of those recommendations from the transitional committee. I know that Trustee Buckland was most interested in that. And as well, there was the student engagement staff update effective January the 9th. Anne Blackburn, Section 23rd Principal, and John Lalonde will be the student engagement coordinating principal for all schools. In completion, there was just the approval of the draft brochure. We hope to see that in February. Trustee Bill McPherson made note that the Upper Canada School Board had approved policy number 340, which is CF membership. And that about wraps it up, except Corey Earl requested information regarding Beyond 21, a new program that our Upper Canada School Board has just began this year, I understand. And that's it.
All right, any comments or questions? Thank you very much for that report, Trustee McCrae. Now we'll move on to the Ontario Public School Board's report. Turn the floor over to our Director, David McDonald.
Thank you. Not too much to report on. We haven't had any meetings since the last time I reported. However, this weekend is the Public Education Symposium. There will be a regional meeting on the Saturday morning. I want to say 8 o'clock, usually 8 to 9:15ish. So all are welcome to attend the regional meeting on that particular morning. It's a set agenda. I spoke to the regional chair last week, and I think it's going to be very difficult for us to get through what they're expecting us to get through. In any event, we'll endeavor to try and do that for UPSPA. After that, the next regional meeting will be March 24th, and there's no location yet, but the last one I believe was in Ottawa. So it more than likely will be somewhere along the 401, whether it be Limestone or Prince Edward Hastings, for the next meeting. But we'll keep you informed on that. There will be a Board of Directors meeting also in February, the 24th and 25th. And also the work groups will have meetings up before then. Just some things to bring you up to speed on a few things that OPSPA are working on. I just sent you a link by email. There is a OPSPA awards that are given out on an annual basis. A number of awards to individuals, whether they be teaching staff or whether they be trustees, or even volunteers within your community associated to education. The link gives you information in particular about the awards, and those awards are presented at the annual general meeting, which is going to be held on June 7th, from June 7th to the 10th in Thunder Bay. One other thing that, just to keep you in the loop on, the week of February 14th to the 15th, it is Give Your School a Hug Day. Just going to find that back here for you. The week of February 13th to the 17th, Heart Speak is launching another Give Your School a Hug Day. It's designated day to provide an opportunity for students to identify ways to make their school better and invite members of the school community to engage in meaningful discussion on topics like bullying, cyberbullying, mental health, learning and communication challenges, addictions, and more. So I'll send you a link to the Heart Speak website, and certainly it's, if you're talking to school councils or even your principals, they may be interested in this as well. So through the Heart Speak website, they have a poster available and also a sign-up sheet and also teacher planning material if someone's interested. Other than that, we'll have some information to report at the next meeting after the regional meeting this particular weekend.
All right, thank you very much,
Chair.
Trustee McDonald. Trustee Karkner.
The meeting on the 24th is being hosted by Ottawa Girl.
Oh, they're going to do it again? Oh, it was the French board last time.
French board last time.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Karkner. Any other comments or questions? All right, thank you very much for your report. We'll move now to the report of the student trustee, Jacob Howe. The floor is yours.
Thanks. I recently did a video with Sean Dooley and Allison Grange for a new student email service called My UCDSB. So the video just kind of outlines, what kind of features the service will offer, and when they initiate it in early February, there will be a video link on the login page, so they can click that video and it'll be me explaining what's going on with this new email service and how great it is. While shooting this video, we also did a second short video where I outlined a little bit about being a student trustee. In this video, Director Thomas, Jeff McMillan, and Chair Petersma all spoke as well. And it will be sent to all staff advisors of student senators as well as the student senators, because we have student trustee elections coming up at our next student senate meeting. The hope is that our senators will gain a much better understanding of the positions so that they can decide if they would like to run in an election for the position. Speaking of the student senate meeting, the next one is just a few weeks away on Friday, February 17th. It will be held at the North Grenville Municipal Center again. As I just mentioned, student trustee elections will be taking place. As well, Jeremy Hobbs will be at our meeting making a presentation to the senators about the My UCDSB email service. I encourage any trustees who would like to join us to please come out. You will not be disappointed. And remember, the theme for the meeting is Pajama Day. And please, appropriate pajamas only. That's it. Thank you.
Does it have to be compliant with the dress code?
Just appropriate.
Appropriate. Thanks. We will receive an update to board on the very exciting and innovative package that we're receiving from Microsoft at the next committee of the whole meeting. So trustees will have a chance to see the exciting partnership there, and good news for us. The package of software that's available to staff and students is quite incredible.
Yeah.
Virtually everything that Microsoft makes will be available to our students to use, so it's pretty amazing.
And it'll all be available online as well, so you don't need to be at a school computer, and it'll be easy to sign into.
Now, did he say anything about the rather archaic 100 megabyte email cap? Did they talk about that?
I didn't hear anything about
That'll
that.
be my first question. You can be guaranteed 100 megabytes.
I was just amazed with the 25 gigabytes of online storage.
Well, that must include your email, so that's good. 25.
Yeah.
You get 100 now.
Megabytes.
Megabytes, that's right. This has more storage. His glasses, no. All right, any other comments or questions? Trustee McAllister?
I have a question for Director Thomas. Is he still online?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. I was wondering, Director Thomas, if you would be interested in commenting on the progress that has been made with regard to the arts charter and the music delegation's concerns.
Thank you, Trustee McAllister. The fact is that we're moving ahead with the Arts Charter review, and that's moving ahead in a very professional manner, headed by Jim Palmer. I met with Jim on Monday, and we are putting together the final related resources necessary to have a very thorough inspection of the Arts Charter in the last 3 years. And we're assigning some clerical staff to help with the pulling together of the data. Jim feels very comfortable about where we're moving with the charter and the review and the 80 plus applications that have made over the past 18 months to the group that organizes the Arts Charter. And I think it's on course, and I think we can expect a update probably in another month and a final report towards the end of May. And I'm quite pleased with the very professional work of Mr. Palmer and the group of teachers that are, this is a teacher-led, as you know, Mr. McAllister, teacher-led review of the arts and arts-related activities going on in the Upper Canada District School Board schools.
Thank you. I look forward to the monthly report.
Any other comments or questions? Trustee Swan?
through you, Chair, also on this topic is, I thought we were going to include outside third parties as part of this review. Is that going to happen at a later date then, or what's happening with that?
Director?
The third party, again, we have done that with a variety of issues of the board, and there's no reason why we would not be open to a third party report. But the fact that this is led by the teachers, and particularly members of ETFO and members of OSSTF, at this particular time, recognizing that Jim Palmer, past president of the Ontario Music Association and so forth, is that we'd be working with him to identify a third party who would have the skills and the necessary attributes that would go towards this type of third-party review. And if we were to move forward with that third-party review, we have created a budget line for that, and Jim and his group is prepared to identify a person or a talented group that would help us with that.
I believe what Trustee Swan was asking was, rather than third party, that the consultation on the effectiveness of the charter will include members of the public.
Absolutely. In that particular case, and I'm sorry if I've misinterpreted what Trustee Swan was asking for, already in this review, our Jim and I spoke on Monday is the interviewing and being involved with a number of community agencies and a number of community partners who are involved in this process.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I wasn't more clear.
Sorry, I missed that.
That's okay.
Trustee Swan, I have my sister can only pick up. Actually, our student trustee's voice came in loud and clear. Other voices aren't quite as clear. Could I hear that again?
I said I'm sorry if I wasn't clear and used the wrong term, third party, because I was talking about outside community agencies and outside.
No, we are going to have parents and other groups and within our communities of all of Eastern Ontario involved in the charter review.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Trustee McAllister?
I have a piece of news with regard to Sweets Corners. An automated external defibrillator was donated recently by the Thousand Islands Fire Department to the school, and I note in the newsletter that it is now installed, and I have seen it. I haven't seen it in action, but it's pretty amazing that it's open. You don't need very much training, and almost anybody can use it. It talks you right through it, the steps and what to do, which leads me to another issue with regard to defibrillators. Trustee Buckland will remember this, but a former trustee in Stormont, Dundas, Glengarry, Dr. Jerry Rosenquist, initiated a motion or a movement at that time that all our students would be trained on CPR. And I'm just wondering if the director or any of the staff could fill me in on where we stand with that. Is it part of any specific course at the high school level or elementary level? And if it isn't, would it not be a good idea?
Okay. Now, just so that we don't get too far away from standard operating procedure here, I'm going to allow Trustee McAllister's question, but just preface that this period of the agenda is for general comments and not necessarily for new agenda items. Having said that, I believe that we could probably answer the question fairly quickly. So,
Thank you, Chair. Trustee McAllister, as I understand it, there are many opportunities in our secondary schools for students to receive certification in a variety of areas and skills, and CPR is certainly one of those. As it relates to our staff, we have a very comprehensive first aid program across our system, which includes the annual training of at least 3 or 4 staff in each school, and certainly CPR is a component of that. But as it relates to students, perhaps Mr. Coombs would know a little bit more about that operationally, but as I understand it, skills training in our secondary schools, certainly one of the topics would be CPR.
And we have defibrillator programs in other schools as well. Like it goes by the health agency where they are. Is that generally who drives them? I don't know, but there are other schools that have them. Do you have anything to offer, Superintendent? Oh, Superintendent
Through you, Chair.
Allen.
A number of the emergency services in a number of our areas offer the defibrillators into our schools, and that comes with training, so that the staff and sometimes students are involved in that training, and that's the reason they put them in. They just don't install them, and there has to be training with it. And there are several courses through careers and that sort of thing in high school, through the co-op programs as well, that students have the opportunity to take the CPR training as well.
Okay, any other comments? Trustee Karkner?
I attended the annual meeting for Champions for Kids Foundation on Monday in Perth. And I was interested to hear the financial report that our coffers are getting really low for helping the children in need in our community. So I'm putting a challenge out there for all of the trustees to try and come up with a creative way in which we can help the foundation get some more funds in its coffers. I have an idea in mind, but I'm not sharing it at this time. I have to do some research, but that's the challenge I'm putting out there for you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Trustee McCray?
I just wanted to take an opportunity to congratulate Jeff Basquel, who is with our family schools in Almont. And last evening, I thought it gave, they had an incredible team, and they've really worked extremely hard and put together a very comprehensive report, including a recommendation for the closure of Stevens Street in near Almont, or adjacent to Almont District High School. And that presentation was given last evening with Mississippi Mills Council, and he gave a very good report, and I just wanted to publicly congratulate him for that report.
Thank you. Any other comments? Director?
Well, first of all, I would really like to thank Carol Karkner for first of all attending on a difficult night of travel to Perth for our annual general meeting of the Champions for Kids Foundation. And we had our meeting in Lanark. One of the reasons why is that Lanark hosted our golf tournament at the Perth Golf and Country Club, and we recognized Dean Fournier for his work at leading our golf tournament. But I do want to thank Trustee Karkner for raising the issue of the foundation and our work with kids in need. We have given out over $500,000 to children and to families for so many different things. I don't have the time to share with you, from sports to culture to arts and so forth. We have bought musical instruments. We have purchased times at summer camps for kids. And the fact is as Carol has said, is that our needs far outstretch our abilities to find the money to get our kids in. But the fact is that we've had some very generous people through payroll deduction, 288 up from 140 this past year joined through payroll deduction to help our families. As in less than 3.5 years, we've raised $500,000, and I agree with Carol that our needs demand that we look at different ways of finding the resources necessary to help our families. The piece that I'm very, very proud of is that the foundation was organized around creating out-of-school experiences for kids that will contribute to their positive connection to their classrooms, their teachers, and their activities of moving forward with education. And I'm looking forward to Carol's, whatever her good ideas, and sharing it with the trustees. There's almost a challenge, as I sense from listening to Trustee Karkner, that we can do some very special things for kids. We've had close to 1,000 families and children impacted by the foundation, and I believe, as I said at the annual general meeting, our Daily Quality Phys Ed program has given us a sense of the physical nature of getting our kids involved in being physically fit, because we know that physically fit children experience a better time at school. We also know, and I'm very proud of this, that our offerings in our Upper Canada District School Board continue to be some of the best offerings in all of Ontario, if not Canada. The piece that also is, we're also very proud of is our character education program is known across Canada as a program that should be emulated in every single school board. But as I commented, and I appreciate Carol Carter being at our meeting, is our foundation has become the soul of the organization. And what we have to take a serious look at is that how do we get the kids involved in all the programs that will get them involved in their community, get them involved in school, and get them to the position where we can get to the high school diplomas that we want to hand out. We as a board have a 90% graduation rate, which would be the highest graduation rate in Ontario, in Canada. And that's going to happen because we do the very special things that a foundation can do, and all the great deliveries of our classroom teachers throughout Upper Canada. And so as the board listens to what Carol said, I think we really have to realize we've only tapped the surface of the generosity of our staff and the generosity of people we serve, the different stakeholders in our board. So I would just say, from that particular perspective, I look forward to more support and even more discussion about where we can go with the foundation.
Thank you, Director. I too was at the annual general meeting, and there was lots of good news being shared that night. One of them items being that the foundation raised close to 20,000. I think it was 17,000. Is that what I calculated, David? 17,000 more than the year before, and
yeah.
So that's a good news story as well. If that's it, if there are no other comments, then I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Trustee, come on, you know you want to do it. McMillan, Trustee Swan, all in favor? We'll see you in a couple weeks, everybody. Thank you very much, and thank you. Do we have Rick Gales online? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Still here watching you.
That's good. Anybody else? Ian, are you there?
Ian's here as well.
And did Art join?
Send me a note, say he couldn't get in.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks very much for attending via the phone. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in a couple weeks.